Good morning, children. Are there any doubts regarding what we covered last day? Yes or no? Yes or no? Emily is doing like this. No doubts. Okay. What did we learn last class? Meryl, we learned about?
We learned about the andrecium, gymnasium, placentation.
Andrecium and gynecium we learned, and we also learned about different types of aestivation, and we started with placentation. What are the different types of placentation that we learned? Only the names, we didn't learn the details. What were the names of different placentation, Alendina?
Marginal, basal.
Marginal, basal.
Parietal.
Yes.
Free central.
Free central.
And parietal.
Parietal, and one more was there, no? Which one you missed? Axile, did you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Which one she missed out? Malavika, just repeat.
Marginal, axile.
Marginal, axile.
Basal.
Free central, and parietal. Okay, all the five. And what is placentation? Basma, what is meant by placentation? What is placentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell me. Where did she go? Sarah?
The arrangement of ovules in the ovary.
Arrangement of ovules in the ovary is known as placenta. I think we started with the first one, no, children? First one we learned, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Marginal placentation in pea and beans. Emmeline, what is meant by marginal placentation? Placenta will be forming
along the ventral structure, and the ovules are on the borders of that ventral structure.
It forms a ridge, and on the cushion-like placenta, ovules will be arranged in 2 rows. So these were the different types: marginal, basal, axile, free central, and parietal. And then we learned about marginal placentation. In marginal placentation, placenta will form a ridge, a raised region, and along the ventral opening of the ovary or ventral suture of the ovary. And you can see in the second figure, they are arranged in 2 rows. Example P. Now, axile placentation. When the placenta is axile and the ovules are attached to a multilocular. Multilocular means ovary with several chambers. As you can see, here there are different chambers. You can find different chambers. Multilocular, locule, the chambers inside. So it's a multilocular ovary, and here you can see the placenta is axile, and here you can see the ovules are attached to it. Example, China rose, tomato, lemon. In all these, you can find axile placentation. Once again, here the placenta is axial at the center or the axial region. You can see placenta, and the ovules are arranged in a multilocular. Attached to this placenta, the ovules are present in multilocular ovary. Ovary is divided into chambers. That is why you call it as multilocular ovary, and placenta is in the axile position, and the ovules are attached to it. Example, China rose, tomato, and lemon. Parietal placentation. Here, the ovules are attached to the inner wall of the ovary or on the peripheral part. Periphery means a border. So this is the ovary. So on the peripheral part of the ovary or on the inner wall of the ovary, you can see the presence of ovules, or ovules are attached to the inner walls of the ovary or on its periphery. Periphery means border. Ovary is single chamber. As you can see in the figure, it's not divided into. It is not divided into chambers. No chambers are there. But it can become two-chambered due to the formation of a false septum. Septum means a partition. So in some of the seeds, even though it is single chamber, a false partition, a partition can be formed separating the ovary into two chambers. Example, mustard and argemone. So these are the two examples, mustard and argemone. Argemone, we say it belongs to poppy family, prickly poppy. Okay. So once again, parietal placentation. Here the ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary or on its periphery. Children, just the figure, the first symbolic representation will be given and you will be asked to identify which type of placentation, explain it and give examples. So diagrams you should be familiar with. You should be able to identify placentation from the figure given. So this is parietal placentation. Parietal, you relate it to the term periphery. Both are P. So periphery, on the periphery, the ovules are arranged or on the inner wall of the ovary. And even though it is a single chambered ovary, sometimes it can form two chamber by the formation of a false partition or false septum. Example, mustard and argemone. Then comes free central placentation. So as you can see in the figure, the ovules are arranged at the center. When these are born on the central axis and no septa, you cannot find any partition. There are no division. So these are present on the central axis. There is a central axis. You can see in the second figure over there, a central axis. And to that, the ovules are attached. This placentation is known as free central. Here also, we cannot find any chambers. Septa are absent to divide the ovary into chambers. Just one chamber. Ovules are arranged on the central axis. Ovules are arranged on the central axis and the placentation is known as free central. Dianthus and primrose are two examples where you can find this type of placentation. Then comes basal. It is attached to the basal region. In basal placentation, placenta is present at the base and you can see a single ovule attached to the base of it. A single ovule attached to the base, and example, marigold and sunflower. So these are the two examples for basal placentation. It is easy to identify the placentation from the figure given. If you can relate. So whenever you learn, relate with the figure and learn. So we'll see all the types once again, starting from the first one. We started with axial placentation. Here, the placenta is axial and the ovules are attached to it in a multilocular ovary, and therefore the placentation is said to be axial placentation. So marginal placentation, here the placenta forms a ridge along the ventral suture of the ovary and the ovules are arranged on this particular ridge. in 2 rows. Example P, and in axial placentation, placenta is axial, and the ovules are arranged in a multilocular ovary. Here there is a multi-chambered ovary, whereas in all the other cases, the ovary was single-chambered, but in one case, we mentioned that it can form 2 chambers by the formation of a false septum. But here in axial placentation, multilocular ovary, and the placentation is axial. China rose, tomato, and lemon. And then we learned about parietal placentation, where the ovules are arranged on the inner wall of the ovary or on the periphery. Ovary is single chambered, but it can become a 2 chambered by the formation of a false septum or partition. Mustard and argemone. And then we learned about free central. In free central placentation, the ovules are arranged on the central axis. Here no septa are present, and the placentation is free central, dianthus and primrose. And then the basal placentation. In basal placentation, the placenta is found at the basal region of the basal part of the ovary, and usually there will be a single ovule attached to this placenta. And example, sunflower and marigold. Any doubt? Okay, can we summarize what are the different types of placentation, starting with the first one, marginal. Why the videos are off, children? Yes, Aditya Devi, you may start.
From marginal.
Where did you go?
A ridge is formed and the ovules are present on the border.
Yes.
A ridge is formed in the middle.
And what is forming this ridge? What is forming ridge? Placenta is forming a ridge. Where this ridge is found?
Middle.
Along the
border.
Which border? Specify the location. Ventral suture of the ovary, and ovules will be
present on the border.
How many rows?
2 rows.
They are arranged in 2 rows. Example?
E.
Okay. Sanjana, next one, axial.
And the placenta is axial and the ovules are attached to it in a multilocular ovary.
Multilocular ovary is found. Examples?
China rose, tomato, lemon.
Okay. Then, what was next one? Parietal placentation. Aneshwara?
Ma'am, the ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary.
Either on the inner wall or on the periphery of the border. Okay, then.
Ovary is one chamber.
Usually it is single chambered, but
becomes 2 chamber due to the false septum.
Formation of a false septum. What is next? Devika? Next type?
Next is free central placentation, and this is when the ovules are attached to the on the axis, on the
central axis,
and there is no septa. Example, primrose and
okay, dianthus. Okay, Tushar, basal placentation.
Yes, ma'am. The placenta develops at the base of the ovary, and a single ovule is attached
to it. Okay. So we'll continue. And many videos are off. I'll note down the names. Basma, where did you go in between?
Ma'am.
Expect the next question.
Yes, ma'am.
Semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant. So how can we describe a flowering plant semi-technically? We'll see the different symbols used to represent different characteristics. A plant is described briefly in simple and scientific language in a proper sequence, beginning with its habit, vegetative characters, roots, stem, leaves, then the floral characters, inflorescence, and floral parts. So semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant means describing it briefly in simple and scientific language in a proper sequence, starting with its habitat, vegetative characters, roots, stem, leaves, floral characters, inflorescence, and the floral parts. After describing the different parts of the plant, a floral diagram is drawn and a floral formula is presented. So first, the plant will be described, and later the floral formula and floral diagram are presented. So in your textbook, I think 3 families are given, and you need to learn only about one family, Solanaceae. A floral.
That's right.
Yes.
Slide.
You want to see it again? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you finish, let me know. Plant is described in simple and scientific language in a proper sequence, starting with its habitat, vegetative characters like roots, stem, and leaves, and then floral characters. Floral characters involve inflorescence and the floral parts. Okay. So here, floral characters. Okay. Vegetative characters, that is the characters of roots, stem, and leaves, and then floral characters means inflorescence and the flower parts. Okay, there is a hyphen after floral characters. Once again, here the plant is described in simple and scientific language in a proper sequence, beginning with its habit, vegetative characters like roots, stem, leaves, and the floral characters like inflorescence and floral parts. So once the plant parts are described, then the floral diagram and floral formula are presented. A floral diagram. So from the floral diagram, we get the following information. The number of parts of a flower. How many parts are there for that flower? Arrangement of the parts of a flower with respect to each other. How are the different floral parts arranged with respect to each other? Whether they are fused, whether they are free, all those details. The relation of the parts of the flower with each other. How are they related? So the parts of a flower, there are different 4 worlds are there. How are they related with each other? Are the stamens attached to the petals or stamens attached to the perianth? So different. That is just one example. How are they related? Are they fused with or with some other part of the flower? So relation of the parts of the flower with each other. Position of the mother axis. So mother axis indicates the position of the stem. The stem where it is attached with respect to the flower, represented by a dot on the top of the floral diagram. On the top of the floral diagram, a black dot, a dot will be shown, and that indicates the position of the stem or the position of the mother axis with respect to the flower. Cohesion and adhesion within the parts of worlds and between different worlds. So cohesion means the fusion between similar parts. Petals joined together or sepals joined together. That is cohesion. But adhesion means the fusion of different floral parts. Petals when they are fused with some other part, or when stamens are fused with petals. So the fusion between dissimilar parts. So that is adhesion and cohesion. So all those details you will get from the floral diagram. Calyx, corolla, ambroecium, and gynoecium, they are drawn in successive whorls, with the calyx being the outermost and gynoecium being the innermost. So in a floral diagram, you'll be learning about a floral diagram, and you have to learn to draw the floral diagram of Solanaceae family. And in that, all the four whorls will be drawn, with the calyx being the outermost layer and gynoecium being the innermost layer. Okay. Once again, a floral diagram. So from the floral diagram, we haven't seen the plant. We don't know the family of that plant. No other details we know. And seeing this floral diagram, so many information you can get without seeing the flower or the plant. So just by seeing the floral diagram, you will get information regarding how many parts are there for that flower. How are the different parts of a flower arranged with respect to each other? How are they related with each other? And where is the stem, or with respect to the flower, where is the mother axis, or where is the position of the stem? And cohesion and adhesion. Cohesion means fusion of similar parts. Adhesion means fusion of dissimilar parts of the flower. And all those details you will get, and the different whorls are arranged in different layers. The outermost layer is indicates calyx, and innermost layer indicates gynoecium. Now, floral formulae. I told you, along with the floral diagram, floral formulae is also presented. I'll show it again. Floral formulae is also presented. This one you want to see again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Just a minute. Floral formulae is also presented along with the floral diagram. So here the different characters are shown by means of symbols. So you can be asked to make a floral formula of your own. Some characteristics will be given, and you will be asked to prepare or write down the floral formula with the so and so characteristics. So you should know the different symbols. BR indicates the plant, the flower is having bracts. Bracteate, already we learned what are bracts. Ebracteate, hope you're remembering. Ebracteate means no bracts are present. So BR indicates the presence of bracts. K indicates calyx. C indicates corolla. P indicates perianth. A indicates andrecium. BR indicates bracteate. K indicates calyx. C indicates corolla. P indicates perianth. And A indicates andrecium. Okay, A for andrecium, P for perianth, C for corolla, K for calyx, BR for bracteate. G for gynoecium. And you can see below G, a hyphen is given. That indicates ovary is superior. Superior ovary. Gynoecium is above that hyphen. So that indicates the ovary is superior. Okay. But if it is above, if the hyphen is above, it indicates ovary is inferior. It is below the hyphen. So here the ovary is inferior. And this sign indicates male. Or, okay, male. And the next sign indicates female. So this you can easily remember. Female, the symbol for that resembles a mirror. So females, they spend more time with mirrors. I know that it is not only females. Males are also not behind. But still, just to remember it easily. So mirror indicates, it's not mirror, okay. I'm just saying you to compare it with the mirror so that you will not forget. And similarly, there is an arrow, bow and arrow. So that you can give us a symbol for males. Mirror for females, an arrow for males. So that indicates male. It is not arrow and all. That is a particular or specific symbol to represent males. And I just told it so that you can remember or recollect it easily without getting confused. Female and male. And then next one. This indicates actinomorphic radial symmetry. And percentage sign indicates bilateral symmetry or zygomorphic condition. Okay. Then enclosing a figure within brackets. If a number is given and it is enclosed within brackets, that indicates fusion. If a number is enclosed within the brackets, that indicates fusion. Suppose 9 petals. If they are in brackets, that indicates fused petals. Line drawn over the symbols of floral parts. So maybe if they are, just a minute, K and C. So if there is a line drawn over the symbols of floral parts, that indicates adhesion. That means fusion between calyx and corolla. Calyx and corolla, or calyx is fused with, just an example I'm saying. So that indicates the fusion between dissimilar parts. And if it is enclosed, a figure is enclosed within the brackets, that indicates the fusion. So once again, we will see all the symbols. Okay. BR indicates, Fahis, what does BR indicate? BR, this particular symbol indicates, Fahis is there. Tom, BR indicates?
Bractate.
Means presence of bracts. Okay, next one. K indicates, Meryl?
Calyx.
Calyx or the sepals. Anishwara, C for? C for? C for? K for calyx, C for corolla or petals. Corolla includes petals. P for Lakshmi?
Perianth.
Perianth. A for rose? Oh, you, sorry, androecium. I already displayed it. G for rose? G. Your audio has got some problem? Gynoecium. Okay. Then G with a hyphen below. Devika?
From superior ovary.
Superior ovary. And G with a hyphen above, Shabari? Inferior ovary. And this symbol indicates, Emilyn?
Ma'am, male.
Male. This one? Female.
Male.
And this one? Wait, who is? Analyst. What does this symbol indicate? Analyst. Basma?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, let Basma answer now.
Actinomorphic.
Means what? Actinomorphic means what, Basma? What type of symmetry?
It will be
Radial symmetry. And this indicates, Alina Varghese? Zygomorphic means what type of symmetry? Radial, and what is the other symmetry I've learned? Bilateral symmetry. Then enclosing figure within brackets. Sanjana?
Fusion.
Fusion. And this one, line drawn over symbols of floral parts. And Mary?
Adhesion.
What does this indicate?
Adhesion.
Ah, yes, it indicates adhesion. So these are the different symbols that we learned, and these symbols are used in floral formulae. So just by seeing the floral formulae, you get information regarding all the different four worlds. Okay? Is that clear? Any symbols you want to see again? Yes or no? No, okay. Solanaceae, that is the potato family, and these plants, the members of this family are widely distributed in tropical, subtropical, and even in temperate zones. So they occupy different regions. They are widely distributed in tropical, subtropical, and even temperate zones. So in different climatic regions, they can thrive well. Now coming to the vegetative characters. So here we are going to, already I told you about the semi-technical description of a flowering plant. So we are going to start with the different vegetative and floral characters, and then we will learn about the floral formulae and floral diagram of this particular family. Vegetative characters. So vegetative characters, as I told you, these are the characters of roots, stems, leaves, etc. So mostly herbs, shrubs, and rarely small trees. So majority of the members are herbs and shrubs. You know what are herbs, shrubs, and trees. And at the same time, most of them are herbs and shrubs, but some of them are trees. Now coming to the stem, herbaceous, rarely woody. So they are herbs, are not very thick stem. They are not having very woody. Yes. They are not having just like herbaceous means, you know what is the type of stem a herb is having. It won't be that woody, but sometimes, so rarely it can be woody. Generally it is not woody, just like the stem of a herb. So like mint plants and all, you know, it's a herb. How the stem looks like, you know, how does it feel like, you know. So here also, mint is not a member of this family. I just gave you an example. So it's a herb. Herbaceous stem is herbaceous, just like the stem of a herb. Not often woody, but sometimes, rarely, it can be woody. Aerial. Stem is above the soil. Because we have learned about underground stems also. Here exceptional cases are there, as in the case of potato, which is an underground stem, but generally it is aerial, above the stem, erect, cylindrical, the shape. It is branched, stem is branched, solid or hollow. It can be solid. It can be filled in, because solid and hollow, you know the difference. If the stem is empty inside, then it is hollow. So both types can be seen. It can be either solid or hollow. Hairy or glabrous. That means from the stem, you can see it will be hairy or glabrous, same thing. It will be hairy. You can see, just see the second figure. You can see minute hairs arising from the stem. Underground stem in potato, Solanum tuberosum. That is a scientific name. It has to be written in italics. Just note it. It is not in italics now. It has to be written in italics. So once again, you can find them in different habitats, in different regions, different climatic conditions, tropics, subtropics, temperate zone, everywhere you can find it. And the vegetative characters, majority of them are shrubs and herbs, but at the same time, a few trees are also included under this family. Stem is herbaceous. Rarely it can be woody. Then aerial, except in the case of potato, others have got aerial stem. Stem is above the soil, erect, cylindrical, branched, and the stem can be either solid or hollow. It's hairy or glabrous, and it is having, or the stem is underground in the case of potato. Leaves, alternate leaves. Simple. See, alternate leaves, I think you know what is meant by alternate arrangement. So if this is a stem, one leaf from here, one leaf from here. So this is the alternate arrangement of leaves. Okay, when leaves are arranged like this, you call it as alternate arrangement. Simple leaf, not compound. In the previous chapter, I had mentioned about compound leaf, pinnately compound, palmately compound leaf. So here the leaf is not broken up into any leaflets, just a simple leaf. Rarely pinnately compound. Rarely, in some of them, it can be pinnately compound. Are you remembering what is meant by pinnately compound leaf, children? Majority of the videos are off. Turn it on quickly. Samia, Ardra, Nimida, Malavika, Abhinav, Nehal. Tell me what is meant by pinnately compound. Shabari, can you recollect?
The
Ah.
single leaf is divided into several leaves present on either sides of the
So many small, the lamina is broken up into small leaflets. Then when do you say it is pinnately compound? How are these leaflets arranged? Shabari? Okay.
The sides of that.
Yes. So it is like when it is arranged, when all these leaflets are joining at a common point, you call it as palmately compound. When all these are not joining at a common point, they are arranged on either side of the main vein, you call it as pinnately compound. Hope you are remembering what we discussed earlier. Children, those whose videos are off, please do turn it on. Exstipulate. Exstipulate means stipules are absent. You can see the picture of stipules, some leafy structures present on the stem or close to the leaf. See, close to the leaf, you can see some green structures. Okay, those are known as stipules. Then venation is reticulate. So you have learned about different types of venation: parallel venation, reticulate venation. Anybody is remembering what you have learned about reticulate venation? Anybody? In class 7, I think you had learned. Anybody is remembering? Alentina, what is reticulate venation? Venation means what? That you tell me.
The line passing through the leaf.
Louder? Arrangement of? Yes.
The lines passing through the leaves.
What do you call that lines? These are the veins. Okay. So the arrangement of veins on a leaf is known as venation. Anybody is remembering parallel venation, reticulate venation? Banana, you can see parallel venation. In hibiscus leaf, reticulate venation. Anybody is remembering? No. See, you tell me what type of venation is this. Just a minute. Banana leaf, supposed to be banana leaf. Okay. Hope it resembles. What type of venation is here? Parallel or reticulate? Just guess. Huh?
Parallel.
Parallel. Because the veins are arranged parallel to each other. So it is parallel venation. Even in grasses also you can find parallel venation. So the veins go parallel to one another. So such type of venation is parallel. But when it is branched, forming a network, you call it as reticulate venation. So in this particular leaf, I'll show you reticulate venation. Main vein or midrib. It is branching into small veins or veinlets. And they are forming a network covering the entire leaf. Then you call it as reticulate venation. See the figure, isn't it reticulate venation over there? See the leaf displayed over here. See here. It's reticulate venation. So the difference, usually parallel venation is found in monocots. Reticulate venation in dicots. Okay. So reticulate venation. So here venation is reticulate, means there will be a main vein, and this main vein will be branching into smaller veins and they form a network. Then you can call it as reticulate venation. And if these veins are running parallel to each other, that is parallel venation. And in this particular family, you can find reticulate venation. So floral characters we will learn next class. So quickly summarize the points that we learned. What is meant by, or explain the semi-technical description of a flower. How can you define it? Turn the videos on. Devika, can you tell me what is the what do you mean by the semi-technical description of a flowering plant?
It is described in a brief and in a sequential manner. Many characters such as habitat and the vegetative characters such as roots, stems, leaves, and also like floral characters such as inflorescence and floral parts are described.
And along with this, I said 2 more things will be presented. What are those? Buddha, along with this description, 2 more things will be presented while studying a particular plant family. Which are they?
That is when we are describing various parts of plant, the description has to be brief.
Hello, listen to my question. That she said, explanation she said, how the semi-technical description is done. Along with that, I told, when I discussed about that only, I showed you all the symbols. These symbols are used for what, Buddha? To present what? Using the symbols, what is presented?
Floral diagram.
Floral formula. Floral formula, and the other one, what did you say just now? Floral? Correct? What you said is correct. Along with this, floral diagram and floral formula are also presented. And then we discussed about some of the characters of this family. What are the characters that we discussed? What about the habitat? Tom? What about the characters? Sorry, what about the habitat? Where do you find them?
Which one, ma'am?
Yes.
Which one?
Solanaceae or the potato family. The members are found in which regions?
Tropic, subtropic.
Tropics, subtropics, and even
in temperate zones.
Temperate regions you can find them. Then what else we learned? What are the other points? Elaine, next point.
Vegetative characteristics. They are mostly herbs, shrubs, and rarely small trees.
Okay. Then Malavika, next point.
Ma'am, they are rarely woody. Their stems are
Okay. Yes. Then what type of venation is found? Tushar, what type of venation is found in them?
Reticulate.
Reticulate venation. So children, we'll continue next period. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.